Top of the morning, morning walk, morning coffee, keep it black. Hope you all are doing well out there. What we talking about today? Let's talk about, hate to do it, but education is necessary. Esso from BagFuel. You heard some of the comments and statements. I'll state what he said, but I'll put the audio at the end of the video. That way we're not going back and forth with audio and then my commentary, all right? So, let's just start off with the fact that they consider themselves to be a part of the hip-hop culture, right? And he stated that he don't listen to albums. Dude's music ain't good enough for his golden ears. And said it as if it was some type of flex. See, this is the problem in hip-hop culture. Everybody has a podcast. Everyone has a show. Many people have a voice. But they say idiotic things. If you're not listening to music, why do you have musicians, artists on your show? That's a slap in their face. I've seen Cormega sit on your couch. He's a writer. You can't really listen to his stuff or deal with his artistic views or focus in a vacuum, you know? He's a thinker. It requires you to listen. And you're not even pressing play. This is what happens when media pundits want to go viral. They'll say anything, even if it means disparaging the culture that they claim to be a part of. How is that funny? How is that even something to say? You literally invite artists on your platform and consider yourself to be like this musical manager aficionado, but you don't listen to music. And the clips was used as an example, and you said Clue was, even though Clue was on it, that's your people's, you still ain't listen to it. One of the best albums of the year, if not the best album of the year. So what did you listen to? And then you go on to speak about Drake, how rap is boring without him. He brought the fun, but Kendrick brings the creativity, but it's not fun. First of all, what fun are we seeking? Because the examples that you gave are not that of a mature man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was out lighting the city up. He had the women out, and that's what you listen to music for? But Drake, when it comes to listening, is low maintenance. It doesn't require any effort. That's why you would use like keywords and buzzwords like Kendrick being creative. Creative in their minds means that, you know, it's hard to listen to. And that's part of the issue with music nowadays. It's been like this for quite some time. Even Nas used to have that stigma. Dudes don't want to think while listening. Kendrick has his most commercial record out. And it's creative for sure, but it's not fun. He's selling out tours and shows. And we're not making this about Kendrick and Drake, but you have to look at the hypocrisy for some of these dudes. You don't listen to music. So how was it fun when Drake was out? Did you listen to his music? A lot of it just doesn't make sense. And they'll die on these hills discussing certain things. You can like who you like. Your favorite artist can be your favorite artist. I'm not here to try to convince you of anything. I'm just speaking in general. But when you spew nonsense like that, when you have a platform and then you have a chance to edit and you still put it out there, that just goes to show me that you want to be viral or go viral. And you've gone viral before and you're chasing that. But it's people who are listening who need to be educated on it. And then you get into sales about, everybody coming at Travis Scott because of the bundles. And the Clips did it too. And then I think Space Ghost, who's also on the show with them, was stating out Alfredo 2, and maybe someone else, another album, did well on the iTunes charts. And you're trying to convince this man that that's because of bundles. Apple is its own entity. Yes, they report to Billboard the sales that artists garner, but the iTunes charts are something totally different. It updates daily, if I'm not mistaken. I remember looking at Billboard, we had to check every Tuesday to see the updates. So this whole thing that people are number one on iTunes is because of bundles, that's not true. It's because they purchased directly through Apple's ecosystem or websites. It's a lot of information that dudes be giving out that is not necessarily true. And these are dudes who claim to be world-class managers, and artists don't go far because they don't want to spend any money. But y'all don't do no homework. You don't do any homework. You can tell by the conversations on some of these shows. The interview ends up being about the interviewer. Constant interruptions, being a know-it-all in the room. At what point do we say, yo, I want to learn today? Sometimes learning requires listening, if not all the time. And I just don't understand it. I can't believe I'm making a video about this, but I thought that was like really outlandish and dangerous to say that you don't listen to music. And whether we like it or not, these dudes have a voice in the culture. They do numbers. They've gone viral. People really tune into them. You are dumbing down music as a whole, period. Forget hip hop. We can even talk about R&B, rock, jazz, gospel. If you're not listening to the music, who are you to have an opinion? And I know everybody got an opinion, but come on now. You can't have an opinion about something if you ain't even take the time to listen to it. How you know if it's fire? How you know if it's trash? And that's how you know a lot of these cats come into situations or when albums drop or content come out with preconceived notions. They've already developed their outlook. It's either they like you or they don't. And that's dangerous. That's dangerous, especially when you pair it with people who want to go viral. So they don't like a particular artist, then they'll say something disparaging about that artist. Now you get to go viral and you still didn't have to listen to the music. It's nasty work out here. Esso, Heineken, y'all got to do better. Y'all not looking like students of the game. Y'all not. And this happened far too often. Far too often. To sit here and say you don't listen to music because these artists, their music is not worth your golden ears. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. But you've been quoted plenty of times on platforms, whether it's yourself, your platform or math platform, stating how artists don't go far because they don't want to spend any money. In other words, what I'm gathering from that now, in totality, in hindsight, if they're willing to give you money, you'll say great things about them. Even if you listen to the project or not. And that's dangerous. They ain't no different from payola. What we talking about, man? I know I'm going on and on, but this needs to be stated. Hip hop deserves better. Music deserves better. We got people at these publications who aren't pressing play on music, but they talking about it. And then I read some of my comments. I got people saying, yo, it's okay to say you don't like a song, but when you start talking about kicks and snares, you've gone too far. What? So I can say I don't like a song, but I can't tell you why? Me telling you why just goes to show you that I listened. And as a culture, that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. Not just in hip hop, all around. All around. The why is missing. Why did you do this song? Why is this album coming out? Why did you choose that producer? Why did you flip the sample that way? I want to know why. Not that you're wrong, but why? When we get back to the why, that's when our thoughts and debates and discourse will expand in a mature fashion, instead of trying to be right all the time or trying to go viral. So Esso, Heineken, BagFuel, y'all get y'all money, y'all get y'all views. Salute to y'all. But that whole episode I just had talking about hip hop missing Drake, you can feel that way. But even trying to push the narrative that you don't have to listen to music is ridiculous. And if you feel that way, maybe you need to go get a political podcast or talk about fashion or talk about popularity, because that ain't it. I'm up out of here. I'm about to start my walk. I ain't walking enough. You know what I'm saying? It's your man Ease at the Ease Experience. You can achieve anything in this world through sheer hard work and patience. God is the greatest. I believe in y'all. Real rap. Go get your sheer.
Hey, yo, Ease.
You didn't listen to the album, did you? No, come on, stop. You know, I don't listen to these people albums no more. These albums ain't good enough for me. Y'all albums ain't good enough for me to lend my golden ear to, okay, and my time. It's not.
Yeah.
Nigga
Clips,
said-
you want to listen to Clips album?
No.
Man, you better stop.
Yeah, not even the Clips, son.
And Clue's on it.
Yeah. Do you think the Drake and Kendrick beef fractured hip hop?
Yes. Yeah. We need Drake. Drake, when Drake was around, like when he was at the #1 spot, hip hop was still exciting. When Drake, after the
I love Drake.
when Drake was doing his tour and lighting up the city and everything, it was lit.
Yeah.
Nobody can light up the city. I just said on other shit with Lord Sco, I said this shit is boring. Nobody's excited. Kendrick is a great rapper. He's dope, but he's not bringing the excitement to it. He's bringing the creativity to it. Drake was outside with the whores. He was all over the place. He's mixing and merging with everybody.
Let me show you
know what I'm saying?
But it's streaming like a motherfucker. And niggas are buying it.
The bundle. They part of the bundle playing with Travis Scott.
I was there when Alfredo 2 came out, and I saw the numbers that were coming in. And when Al was #1, Clips was #2 on the sales of the album.
Its sales comes from the bundle.
No, I'm talking about like on iTunes, niggas just purchasing.
The album sales is coming from the bundles.
It don't go to iTunes though. That's a different thing.
It's a way. I'm
It's
telling
another.
you.
That's